Hey everybody, what's going on? AJ Riley here with Uncultured Dad for our first of many question and answer videos. We put out a social media post about asking Uncultured Dad any question about faith, family, or fatherhood, and we got a good response, and we want to drop that first video and blog post right here for you. And the first question that we want to deal with is about side gigs and fatherhood, which is interesting because for us at Uncultured Dad, it is a side gig. So how can we best prioritize our family and be the father that we are called to be while still chasing passions and pursuing side gigs that we believe and know can help benefit the family that we're called to serve? And so what we did is we put together some thoughts on how best to handle side gigs in order to serve your family well, chase your passions fiercely, and at the end of the day, be both satisfied with what you are accomplishing and how well you're loving as well. So let's jump right into it. And first and foremost, what we want to say about side gigs is you have to prioritize what is most important. We know Jesus even said in Mark 8:36 that what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world, but he forfeits his soul? It's important that we prioritize what is most important, and truthfully, we will prioritize whatever we believe to be the most important. So the message that we send through our priorities will be clear to those closest to us and our families. It's important that we chase our passions. It's important that we find satisfactions in our passions, but at the same time, it's important that we are serving our family. So first and foremost, master your calendar, because if you don't master your calendar will master you. You'll be pressed by self-inflicted deadlines, and that's the key, right? We have to understand that the deadlines that we impose in our side gigs tend to be self-imposed, which means are they a need to know or need to be done or a nice to be done type of situation. So make sure that you block your days out in your calendar in a way that prioritizes what's most important to you. And that includes blocking time for your family. Listen, I'm a guy that likes to block his calendar so that I know what is coming at what hours of the day. And as I block that calendar, there is time for family, but it's important. It's a trap that I fall into sometimes. It's important that that block for family on our calendar doesn't become just another checklist item that we just are getting done off of our to-do list. Our kids and our spouses need us to be present. So making sure that we prioritize them and getting our side gig done on the back end of that prioritization is very important. That's first and foremost. The second thing is communication. Now, hopefully, you didn't go into the side gig without communicating to your spouse what that side gig was and having them on board. Because open and honest communication is the exact type of communication that marriage requires. So if you just jumped into this, you may need to make sure that that conversation is being had or has already happened in order to make sure that you and your teammate are on the same page. Before we started Uncultured Dad, I got with my wife and we talked about this burden that I felt to serve men and to serve Christians and to provide resources for them. And she was on board and she supports that. And I wouldn't be able to do this if I did not have her support. So making sure that we are openly communicating what is something that you need done, or how much time do you need to get your side gig done. Communicating those things and being open with them and transparent with them are very big. Something that my wife and I started recently, which is, I think, served us really well. And we're not experts in this because I just said we started it recently. It's new and it's fresh, but it's really helped. Is we'll just have a daily check-in with each other. How are you feeling and how can I serve you? And that's our time to be open and transparent and communicate with each other of what are our expectations for the day and what do we need to get done. with everything that we have going on, 3 kids and multiple jobs and different areas pulling us in different ways, we know how we can serve each other for that day. The third thing with a side gig is involve your family where it's appropriate. If you can involve your family and maybe even spark a passion within your kids or your spouse to be on board and help you in this pursuit of your passion, then there's no better way to integrate those times together. At worst, it's an opportunity to spend time with them, for memories to be created, and as a family for you to learn and to grow together. So how can you involve your family in your side gig? A good question to ask. We create videos, and sometimes my son likes to get in front of the camera too. Now those will never be made public because I don't necessarily want his face on the internet, but it still gives him the opportunity to spend time with dad and create a video, and he makes some pretty good animal educational videos, if I'm not going to be too biased, but they are good videos and it's fun, and we get to spend time at the computer and create videos. So how can you involve your family in your side gig as well? And then finally, the one thing that we have to remember as we pursue side gigs, if we're going to be the best husband, if we're going to be the best father, if we're going to be the best version of ourselves, and we've got all these plates spinning in the air, then we cannot neglect self-care. We have to understand, I go back to those self-imposed deadlines. Sometimes it's okay to just unplug from the computer. Sometimes it's okay to just step away and give your brain a break. Have a family movie night. Spend time where you're not worried about the next deadline, but finding a way to get accomplished what needs to be accomplished so that you can turn the brain off. There's blocks of time that I put into my calendar where it's just nothing to do because I need my brain to reset. We cannot go high functioning all the time, 100% of the time, 100% of the day, because if we do, you will burn out no matter how passionate you are about something. So make sure to step back. Make sure to take time for your health, for your mental health, for your social health, for your emotional health, because all of those things are what create you. And if you want to bring your best self to this side gig, make sure that self-care is a part of it. This has been the first question and answer with Uncultured Dad. I'm AJ Riley. I think it's a great question, and I think for you dads out there that are chasing those side gigs, keep chasing them ferociously, but make sure that you're prioritizing well. Make sure that you're communicating transparently. Make sure you're involving your family where you can involve them, and make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Listen, I know we're new, but make sure that you hit that subscribe button right there down below. Make sure you pound that bell for notifications for when all of our content drops here from Uncultured Dad, because we are here to provide an uncultured space for faith, family, and fatherhood. We'll see you next time.